Hey everybody, and welcome to your personalized deep dive.
Hmm.
Today we'll be looking at dignity.
Ooh, dignity.
But not just like basic etiquette, we're
Right.
going deeper.
Yeah,
We're going to be exploring how dignity can actually lead to a more fulfilling life.
I love that.
You shared this motivational video that lays out 10 reasons to maintain dignity.
Okay,
So let's break down those golden nuggets and see what we can learn.
absolutely. And, it goes way beyond just your pleases and thank yous.
Right.
What I think is so fascinating is how the video connects dignity to like real tangible outcomes.
Yeah.
We're talking about things like respect and reputation.
Yeah.
Even happiness. It's
Yeah.
not just this abstract idea. It really does impact how we live.
Before we get too far,
Yeah.
let's define dignity.
Okay.
For our deep dive today,
Okay.
let's consider it the inherent worth and value we have as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And how that kind of shapes our actions and interactions.
Yeah.
Thinking about your own life,
Yeah.
where do you see dignity playing a role?
I think it's woven into the fabric of like all of our experiences. The video starts by emphasizing that dignity earns you respect.
Right.
And, it's so fascinating how that works.
Yeah.
I think when someone carries themselves with dignity,
Yeah.
it signals self-awareness and self-respect.
Yeah.
And that in turn makes others more likely to respect them.
I see what you mean. It's like that the video uses that business person confidently entering the meeting room.
Right.
They command attention not through arrogance,
Yeah.
but through the self-assuredness that comes from
Yeah.
dignity.
Right. It's not about being loud or flashy.
Right.
It's about that quiet confidence that speaks volumes.
Yes.
And, this ties back to how dignity helps us live better lives because respect is the foundation of so many positive relationships and interactions.
Okay, so we've got respect.
Yeah.
But then the video makes this really interesting point about how dignity also safeguards your reputation,
Yes.
which is huge. Have you ever been in a situation where maintaining your dignity was a challenge,
Oh, yeah.
but ultimately protected your reputation?
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
It's like that old saying, character is what you do when no one's watching.
Right.
Dignity ensures that you're acting in a way that aligns with your values, even when it's tough. And that consistency ultimately protects your reputation in the long run.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It's like having this inner compass that guides you even when you're tempted to stray from your values.
Absolutely.
But I get what you're saying about being challenging sometimes.
Yeah.
The video goes on to talk about boundaries.
Okay.
And this is where it gets interesting to me.
Yeah.
Um,
And so this is where we start to see the concept of dignity as like a personal force field,
Interesting.
helping us set healthy limits.
Okay.
It's about recognizing your self-worth and having the strength to say no when necessary.
Uh-huh.
The video uses the example of politely declining an unreasonable request.
Mm-hmm.
It's not being rude. It's about honoring yourself.
I totally get the connection between dignity and boundaries.
Yeah.
But isn't there a risk of becoming too rigid
Oh.
or isolated if we're constantly putting up walls?
Sure.
How do we balance that need for self-protection with staying open to connections and experiences?
That's a great question. And, it's not about building fortresses around ourselves. It's about discerning what we allow into our space.
Right.
Remember, dignity is rooted in self-worth.
Uh-huh.
When we value ourselves, we're less likely to tolerate disrespect or allow others to cross our boundaries.
So setting boundaries is less about pushing people away
Yes.
and more about attracting the right people.
Exactly. The video shows a group of friends laughing and supporting each other.
Right.
That's the kind of positive environment dignity fosters.
Yeah.
By setting boundaries, we create space for genuine connections with people who share our values and respect who we are.
This reminds me of something you said earlier about how dignity helps us to lead better lives. It seems like building these genuine connections is a huge part of that.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
These positive relationships,
Yeah.
built on mutual respect and understanding, contribute significantly to our well-being.
Right.
And it all stems from that foundation of dignity, valuing ourselves and setting healthy boundaries.
Yes.
This whole idea of setting boundaries
Yeah.
and attracting like-minded people.
Right.
It's fascinating to me how that ties into this concept of authenticity, which the video dives into next.
Right.
It's not about being perfect.
Right.
It's about being genuine.
Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
I love how the video emphasizes that true dignity comes from embracing your authentic self flaws and all.
Yes.
It's about living in alignment with your values and beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about putting on a show.
Yeah.
It's about showing up as your true self.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that our imperfections are part of what make us unique and valuable.
Yeah.
And this ties back to living a better life. Because when we're authentic,
Yeah.
we attract people who appreciate us for who we truly are.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I can be a bit of a perfectionist sometimes,
Oh, yeah.
but the more I think about it,
Okay.
the more I realize that striving for some unattainable ideal of perfection
Right.
actually undermines my sense of dignity.
It's like you're trying to fit into a mold that wasn't made for you.
Yeah.
But when you embrace your authenticity,
Right.
you break free from those expectations and you step into your own power.
It's so liberating.
I know.
And speaking of power,
yes.
the video makes this really cool connection between dignity and self-discipline.
Oh, yeah, this is good.
It's not about being rigid or controlling.
Yeah.
It's about that inner strength to make conscious choices that align with your values.
The example they use is brilliant. The person calmly driving past an aggressive driver,
Oh, yeah.
choosing not to engage in road rage. You know, it highlights how dignity helps us to make conscious choices that align with our values, even in challenging situations. It's about mastering our emotions and reactions,
Right.
which ultimately strengthens our sense of dignity.
Like dignity gives you that pause button,
Yes.
that moment to choose a response that reflects your best self.
Absolutely.
This reminds me of the concept of intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation.
Oh, interesting.
It's not about external rewards or punishments.
Right.
It's about acting in a way that aligns with your inner sense of self-worth.
Exactly. And that intrinsic motivation is so powerful.
Yeah.
Think about it when you do something because it feels right,
Right.
because it aligns with your values.
Mm-hmm.
It reinforces your sense of dignity.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
Dignity fosters self-respect,
Right.
which leads to healthier boundaries
Mm-hmm.
and empowers us to make choices that reflect our authentic selves.
Mm-hmm.
And the video highlights how this ripple effect extends outward. When you act with dignity, you become a role model, inspiring others to do the same.
Precisely. The video uses the example of a teacher calmly resolving a conflict in the classroom.
Yeah.
And it's so powerful, their composure and fairness set an example for the students.
Yeah.
It's like that quiet leadership that comes from simply being true to yourself and acting with dignity.
That's such a great example.
Yeah.
It's like dignity gives you this magnetic presence.
Yes.
You're not trying to force your will on others.
Right.
You're simply being an example of how to navigate life with grace and integrity.
You said it, and you know what goes hand in hand with that.
What's that?
Confidence.
Ooh.
When you value yourself and act in accordance with your principles, it breeds this deep sense of self-assurance.
Mm-hmm.
The video shows that speaker confidently addressing an audience, and you can just feel the confidence radiating from them.
Like it.
It's like that inner knowing that you're good with who you are and how you conduct yourself.
That's such a powerful image. And, you know, this whole conversation has really got me thinking about the link between confidence and happiness.
Yeah.
The video suggests that confidence stemming from dignity can actually unlock genuine happiness.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a beautiful connection. You know, when you're confident in who you are and how you move through the world, it naturally leads to a sense of peace and contentment.
Right.
It's not about chasing external validation. It's about that deep inner satisfaction that comes from living a life of dignity.
That's a really powerful point. It reminds me of that quote by Maya Angelou.
Oh, yeah.
Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it.
I love that.
It's like dignity is the foundation for all of that.
Exactly. And the video's closing message really drives it home.
Okay.
When you prioritize dignity, you sleep better, laugh harder, and live lighter because you're living with integrity.
Mhm.
It's not just about looking good on the outside. It's about that inner peace and fulfillment that comes from living a dignified life.
This whole deep dive has been so eye-opening. It's like we've uncovered this hidden superpowers that we all have access to.
Right?
It's not about grand gestures or elaborate displays. It's about those small, consistent choices that reflect our inherent worth.
It's about those everyday moments where we choose kindness over judgment, where we stand up for what's right, where we refuse to let negativity dim our light.
Yes.
Each of those seemingly small acts strengthens our dignity and creates this ripple effect of positivity.
And you know what? Thinking back to the beginning of our conversation, you asked about where dignity shows up in my life.
Right.
This deep dive has made me realize that it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's in how I treat myself, how I interact with others, how I respond to challenges. It's woven into the fabric of my being.
That's beautifully said. And it reinforces the idea that dignity isn't a destination, it's a journey.
Yeah.
It's something we cultivate and nurture every single day.
So true. And for our listener, I hope this has been a valuable journey as well. It's been amazing unpacking this concept of dignity and seeing how it can truly lead to a more fulfilling life.
Absolutely. Remember, dignity is a gift you give yourself. And in doing so, you not only enhance your own well-being, but you inspire others to do the same.
It's like a chain reaction of respect and self-worth.
Yes.
Well, on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and above all, stay true to yourself.